Yeah. So the course is about API testing. Okay, you all know that API testing. Okay, so now the duration of the course will be 30 to 35 days. Okay, so planning for the 30 to 35 days. If you guys are catching it, don't miss. So we can reduce the time also. Okay, so but the maximum time, that duration, we are taking about 30 to 35 days. This will be the duration. Okay, so in this duration, what you are going to learn is the main thing, right? So in this API testing course, so what you're going to learn, that you have to be very clear. Okay, so before before enrolling for the course, you have to be very clear that what you're learning in this course. Okay, then you have to decide that whether whatever the content we are planning to teach you guys is working for you or what. Okay, so basically I'm keeping all the information and what are all the things which is required to work with the organization and to give any API testing, API interview, to crack any of the interview. For basically what are the things is which is required, so that is I'm covering totally. Okay, so the basically I'm planning all the things in this course. Okay, so in this 30 to 35 days, we are learning both manual approach plus automation plus framework. Okay, so we are not separately taking for the manual and API and project. Okay, the three things also covered in this only. Okay, so manual, automation, framework. Okay, so the three thing is also covered in this course only. Okay, so there's no separate class we are conducting for the manual and automation and separate for the project. So the three things also covered in this course only. Okay, so first we are starting with the manual approach, then we are jumping into the automation, then we are jumping into the framework building, nothing but project. Okay, so the three thing is also covered here. Okay, so in the manual approach, first I'm starting with the manual approach. Whether you are a fresher, whether you are an experienced one, and who are learning to I mean to say, so whether you are a fresher or you are working somewhere and you want to switch to your domain to API testing, or you want to learn the API testing as experience connect, what it may. Okay, so I'm covering with respect to all. Okay, so I'm starting from the scratch and I'm going till the advanced level. Okay, so in the manual approach, first I'm starting with the manual approach. Why I'm starting with the manual approach means, once you're getting good hold on the manual approach, then we are jumping into the automation. Okay, so in the manual approach, I'm going to cover, so all the concept which I'm covering in the manual approach, all the concept I'm covering in the automation. Okay, so basically, so what are the things you can do here that also you can achieve in the automation. Okay, and then once you're getting the hold on the both the things, manual and automation, then we are jumping into framework build, means project implementation. Okay, so now here in the manual approach, first before going with the manual approach, we are taking, we are learning about complete about web URL. Okay, why we are learning web URL here? Because you are working with the URL only. API is nothing but developers will develop the API and they will be giving you the URL. Okay, so whenever they are giving you URL, you should be able to. What voice is not audible? Is it same with everyone, or Srinivas is only facing that issue? Can anyone confirm?
Okay.
Yeah, audible, right?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Okay, so before before whenever the developers are giving you the URL, okay, so you should be able to understand what is the parameter it contains, what are all the parameter that URL contains, so that you can work with that efficiently. Okay, so if some developer is sending you some URL, means like this, just I'm taking example HTTPS and some domain name, domain name json.com, some resource. Okay, and okay, so whenever developer is providing like this URL, so you should be able to understand what is this protocol is doing, what is this domain name, what is this resource, what happens if domain name is not there, what happens if resource is not there. Okay, what is the query there's so many parameters are there, guys. Okay, I will be explaining you each and everything in further sessions, in the demo sessions. Okay, but as of now I'm just giving you overview. Okay, so first we will be learning complete about the URL, complete knowledge about the URL. When URL means what are the parameter it contains, so that whenever developer is giving us, so how we can validate that. We want to send the request, so that how we will get the response when we are getting the response from the services, from the API, how we need to validate that. Okay, so all these things will be covering. Once after learning complete about the complete knowledge about the web URL, then we are jumping into JSON language. Okay, okay, because we are working with a JSON only here. Okay, so we are not using any XML, HTML, all those legacy languages. Okay, so nowadays, okay, nowadays, yeah, it's audible, right? Okay, so nowadays everything, we have to work with a JSON only. Okay, so there is no any XML and HTML concepts. Nowadays all are jumping into JSON because this is a lightweight language. Okay, so all are going with the JSON only. So we are learning JSON also here. So what is JSON, how we need to create a JSON object, and how we need to create a JSON array, how to work with a complex request, and how to create a complex data. So all those things we'll learn. Okay, and how to send the data, JSON data, with the request, so that we'll get the response, and how to validate the traverse inside the JSON response, how to put a validation on those response. All these things will be covering. Okay, so here basically we'll be covering about the JSON object creation, and JSON array creation, and working with the complex data. Okay, so we'll be covering all these things. Okay, so once after that, once after learning about the JSON, then we are jumping into the all the HTTP methods. Okay, so HTTP methods is nothing but business operation methods. Okay, so tell me, guys, what is this business operations means according to your knowledge? What is the business operation? What is the business operation? Main business operation. If you take any of the application, what we will usually do with the application? Mhm. If it is wrong, is
Yes,
also fine. We just interact. Okay, I want the session to be very interactive. Okay, it is wrong
as
is
per
also fine. Yeah.
as per a business requirement, we can do that.
Okay, so what operation you perform? Business operations means the main business operations.
Fetching
Mm-hmm.
data.
Yes, yes, yes. Who's that? Okay, what is that? Fetching.
Fetching data from data, like
Okay, okay, okay.
getting a new data.
Yeah, you're close to the answer. Okay, so business operation is nothing but, remember always, it is the crude operation. Have you heard ever crude operations?
Yes, third of the
Okay, so nothing but create. Okay, so this is nothing but creating something.
Create,
Hmm.
update, delete,
Yes,
create,
create,
update, update,
read, update,
update, delete.
and delete. Okay, okay, so this is the main operation, guys. Okay, you take any of the application, this is what you perform. Okay, for example, take a phone pay application. Okay, just a real-time example only you take. What you will do, obviously, before using that application, okay, if you want to do some transaction, you have to create your account in that. Okay, then after creating account, you want to check how much of balance you have in your account. Okay, what you will do, you perform the read action. Okay, okay, you want to update something. Okay, maybe your name you have to update, your phone number you have to update. Obviously you do the updation, and then okay, you are you are not happy with the phone pay application. Okay, so you have to jump into some other application. You don't want to make use of a phone pay application. Okay, so what you will do by the time, you will delete that account. This is the main action you will be performing if you take any of the application. Okay, so this is what you perform, okay, with the application. So this is what we called as a business operations. Okay, so the main thing we have to concentrate about in our learnings is this is only. Okay, you have to be very clear with how to perform the this all the work with all these HTTP methods, how to perform the creation of the resource, how to perform the retrieval of the resource, how to perform the updation, how to perform the delete. Okay, so all these things you have to be very means you have to learn carefully. Okay, if you learn this thing, then this is totally fine. Okay, the half of the job is done. The remaining thing and all, putting the validation with respect to response. Okay, so you had to learn properly about these HTTP methods. Okay, so we are concentrating on these HTTP methods first. Okay, so once after learning these HTTP methods, these HTTP methods, we will be working with the real-time APIs. For example, we will be taking a GitHub APIs. Okay, so what happens in the GitHub application? You will be creating the repository. You will be deleting the repository. You will be updating the repository. Okay, how you will do that? Okay, you will log in into the application. Okay, you will log in into the GitHub application. Okay, so you will log in. Okay, like this you will log in, then you will sign in, then you will perform whatever the action you need to do. Okay, I have logged in. One second, I'll check. Okay, okay, so this is on the real-time APIs. Okay, so you will log in into the application. One second, guys. Okay, so you will log in into the application, you will create the repository, you will update the repository, or you will delete the repository. Okay, so all this action, how you will do it manually. Okay, by logging into the application. But all this action, how you have to do is, you have to do through your API only. For example, see, this is the one second, guys. Okay, so this is what creating the organization repository. Okay, so this is the repository creation API. Okay, click on this. So after clicking on it, just I'm giving overview. Okay, all this action will be performing. Okay, so taking this API, this is the API. Okay, creating the repository. You're taking this API, and first you're working with the Postman. Okay, you're making use of the Postman tool, and you're creating the repository in the Postman. You're providing all this information in the Postman. Okay, then whenever you're coming here in the application, okay, and you're checking that repository has to create in the application. Okay, creating account. For example, taking a Facebook. Okay, you're taking a Facebook API and you're creating that API in the Postman. I will show you one. Okay, that you have to create in the Postman. Okay, so whenever you're creating that, that has to create in the uh, you know Facebook in the Facebook account. Whenever you're logging in, it has to create. Okay, so like that, we will be taking a GitHub APIs, real-time APIs, and we'll be performing all this create, read, update, delete, everything we will be performing through the API, and we are checking whether it is created or not um, in the GitHub application. Okay, so this is one real-time API that we will be working. Okay, to give you the more real-time experience, how it is happens, how it is happening, how you have to work in the organization, to give you more exposure on the real time. Okay, so once after that, you will be learning something about environments. Okay, before the environments, you will be learning about collection. Okay, so then environment. Okay, and something about variables. Okay, and then validation on response. Okay, so we can perform this. So something about, we are learning completely about the collection. Okay, in the collection what we have to learn, okay, what is the uses of creating the collection, why we need to create collection, if you are not creating the collection what happens. Okay, so all these things will be learning. There are so many uses we have with the collection. Okay, we'll be learning each and every uses. Okay, so then environments. Okay, so environment is nothing bad. If you're already working in an organization, okay, you will be knowing that you have a dev environment, you have a QA environment, you have a pre-prod environment. Okay, and you have a prod environment. Okay, so you will be having a different environments, correct? Okay, so depends upon the environment, my URL also has to work accordingly. Okay, how we can deal with that, how we can work with that different environment with the APIs, all these things will be learning. Okay, and then something about variables, why we have to make use of variables, how it is useful, how it is, helping us in real time, all those things will be learning. And validation. Okay, okay, and validation also we will be working with. Okay, so okay, so validation means after getting the response, how we need to validate, how we need to perform validation, so all these things will be learning. Okay, so and for the validation also we'll be using some scripts, all those things will be covering here. Okay, so after that we'll be learning about data driven. Okay, this is very important, data driven, achieving the data driven testing. Okay. Hmm. So, and after the data driven, yes, I forgot main thing, authentication. Okay, so this is also very important, guys. We have to authenticate ourselves before using any of the service. Okay, in the real time, whatever the API you use, it must be authenticated. Otherwise, it will not let you to read the data from that API. Okay, so you have to perform the authentication. In the authentication, we have different types of authentication, like a barrier token, basic auth, auth1, auth2. So many authentication types we have. We will be learning each type. Okay, each and every day we will be learning. Okay, so basically we are covering all these in first with respect to manual. Okay, then once we are getting some hold on the manual. Okay, so once we are getting some good hold on a manual testing of API, then we are jumping into the automation. Okay, so in the automation, as a prerequisite, of course we need some knowledge of Java. Okay, so okay, is it's okay, you don't have a knowledge also, but you just inform me on prior before starting the automation. I will go through the Java concepts around 2 to 3 days. Okay, so OOPS concept is more than enough to learn the API testing. Okay, more than enough OOPS concept, knowing about the OOPS concept. So if you are not comfortable with the OOPS concept means, just let me know on prior. Okay, I will help you with that learning. Okay, I will take a class 2 to 3 days completely dedicated for the Java concepts of OOPS concept. Then after learning about the OOPS concept, then we will jump into the automation. Okay, the same thing we will learn in the automation also. All the thing what we have achieved in the manual, that we will perform here. Okay, and one more thing, but in the automation, the complex data handling. Okay, the complex data handling we have extra. Okay, here also we will perform that, but here we will be having a different approach. Okay, complex data handling. Okay, complex data handling and nested data handling. Okay, so these two have important scope with respect to automation. Okay, to perform this, we have a 3 ways we can perform that. What are those ways? One is using, this is very important with respect to interview. Okay, complex data handling, nested data handling. Okay, I will be telling you, while I am completing the each and every concept. I will be informing you what are all very important and what are all less important. Okay, when I'm specifying that something is very important, please stretch out on those concept. Okay, then handling the complex request by using the Java object and handling it by using the hash map, handling it by using the POJO class. Okay, POJO class is nothing but making use of all the OOPS concept and achieving the things. Okay, so this is very important, guys. This handling to the POJO classes are very important. This is the fixed question in the interview. Okay, so this is all the things here. Also all the authentication and validation, how we can perform the validation, how to traverse the response of the body. Okay, all these things will be covering. Okay, see here, if you observe here, so if you observe here, just I'm sending this. Okay, see, I'm sending this request here. Okay, and I'm making use of a get method of the HTTP method. Okay, and I'm using some authentication. Okay, then I'm getting some response here. Okay, and you have to learn about the status code also. For the get method, what is the status code? For the post method, what is the status code? Which is very important. This is also interview question. They will ask you about the status code also. Okay, and for the update method, what is the status code? Each and everything they will ask you. Okay, don't worry, for the interview whatever all the things is needed, I will be helping you with you guys. Okay, while I'm covering the topics, I will be telling you what is important and what you need to learn for the interview. All those things I will be telling you, but you have to go through it and you have to learn it. Okay, yes. Okay, see here, I'm sending the request, I'm making use of a get method, I'm telling that I have to list out all the response. See, I'm getting the response. Okay, this is in the form of JSON. Okay, that's why I am, before starting only, I'm giving a idea about JSON. Before starting working with all these HTTP methods, I'm covering the JSON, because while you're working with HTTP methods, you should be able to understand what response you're getting and how you're getting. Okay, so you're getting the response in the form of JSON. Okay, so here you should be able to understand what are all the details you're getting here. Okay, so this is what JSON, that's why we are learning the JSON language also in this course. Okay, yes. Okay, so you should be able to understand after getting the response how we can validate this response, how we can traverse inside this response body. Okay, all those things will be covering. Okay, so yes, so after this, okay, once after this, okay, after the covering this, we will be jump with the framework implementation, nothing but project. Okay, so here for the project, I'll divide this here. Okay, so for the project, okay, okay, so for the project, we will be using what we will be using for the project. So we will be using a TestNG. I think if you all learned Selenium means you will be having a idea on TestNG, right? You will be having it, or should I have to cover that in this course? You are having it means well and good. Okay. If you don't have means okay. Okay. So if you don't have means, so you have to let me know Priya. Okay, I will cover the TestNG also. Okay. So for the project, for the framework implementation, okay, so we will be using TestNG and what we'll be using Jenkins and Log4j. Okay, so all these things we are integrating with our framework. Okay, so how we can make use of a TestNG, what are the advantages we have, why we have to make use of this TestNG framework, all these things will be learning. Okay, Jenkins is nothing but CI bot CD tool. Okay, this is nothing but CI bot CD tool. Okay, you have to be a very clear knowledge about this Jenkins, because in the organization you will be not running all your test cases and all in the local. Okay, you will be running in the Jenkins only. Okay, so you have to run your all your test cases in the Jenkins, and you have to track of the failed test cases and past test cases, how it is working, all these things you have to keep a track in Jenkins only. So how to make use of Jenkins in our project, in our framework, how to integrate my framework or my project with the Jenkins. All these things will be covering here. Okay, so knowing about the Jenkins is very important nowadays. Each and every interview, they ask you whether you have a knowledge on Jenkins. Nothing but CI bar CD tool. Okay, because all the test cases, all the things we are learning in the Jenkins only, because it is having that much of advantage. If you want, you can schedule the running of your test cases. Okay, if you want to run your test cases, okay, so means at what time you want to learn, you have to learn. So by that time you have to schedule and you have to run your test cases. Okay, so all those things you can control by using Jenkins only. For example, if you want to run your all the test cases during night hours means, so it's not possible you to sit until that time and to run your test cases, right? It has to happen automatically. How you will achieve that? That you will achieve through the Jenkins. Okay, you have to schedule it. For example, you want to run your all the test cases 11 p.m. Okay, it's not possible you to sit in the office till the 11 p.m. Correct? Okay, for that what you will do, you will schedule it in the Jenkins saying, okay, please run all these test cases at 11 p.m. You have to schedule your time like that, and you have to provide all the information about your framework. Okay, so it will start running the test cases whatever the time you have specified. Okay, so this is having a lot of advantage that we will be learning while we are implementing the framework. Then log4j. Okay, this is also very important feature. Okay, every framework should have a log4j in its implementation, because it has to keep track output of your test case execution, and it has to tell us where it is failing, why it is failing, which method it is passed, which function is passed, which method is failing, which function is failing. Each and everything it has to keep track. Okay, so for that we will be making use of the log4j. Okay, so we'll be learning complete about these things, completely about these all the tools we'll be learning. Okay, so this is what we are planning in this course. This is the course structure. Okay, any doubt with respect to course content? Any doubt?
No, ma'am. This one is perfect. Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Okay, so basically guys, what are the experience I am having with respect to the organization, all the things I'm keeping here for you guys to help with your interviews or to work in the organization. Okay, so what are all the
But
things
ma'am,
needed?
like
Mm-hmm.
for the automation, like we are going to use a REST assured, is it? Like
Yes, yeah, rest assured. Yes, rest assured
okay.
using rest API using rest assured.
So
Rest assured is the
is
library.
it similar to like a BDD Cucumber or Selenium? Like
Yes,
how we are
yes,
doing?
you're right. You're right. Okay, similar like that only. However,
Okay.
okay, while performing the UI automation, what we will use, we will make use of a Selenium, and we will
Right.
make use of all the available interfaces and classes in that. Correct? What are
Right.
all the inbuilt classes, methods which is available? No, in the similar way, we are making use of a REST assured to achieve the backend testing. Okay,
Oh,
Selenium is
okay.
completely for the front end testing, and to achieve the same thing in the backend testing, we are making use of a REST assured.
Yeah. Sure.
Okay, so
Yeah.
okay, so now, okay, any doubt with respect to course content? Hope I
No doubt,
covered
ma'am.
everything. Okay, yeah,
Yeah.
okay. So now, okay, we will learn something about just we will have a overview on APIs. Okay, okay, what is API, guys? What do you have? What do you have a knowledge on it? APIs.
So can I go?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So API is like nothing but the interconnection between consumer and server, like it intermediary, like we can say, if you want to fetch a data, so API is intermediary in between server in the term database server and consumer server.
Yeah,
So
it is nothing but in simple way, if it if you are talking about in a common language, it is like a mediator, correct? It is like
right.
an intermediator. Okay, it is acting as a mediator between two application. Okay, why two application? I'm just giving in this session I'm just giving idea about APIs. Okay, so and one more thing, guys. Okay, in the previous batch and all, some people have confused that it is a API development course. Okay, no, this is completely for the test engineers. Okay, this is a API testing. Developers will be developing the API and we will be performing the API testing on the APIs. Okay, so this is completely about the test engineers API testing. Okay, don't confuse with the API development and API testing. Okay, so we are not implementing any APIs, we are making use of APIs to perform the validation on it. Okay, and here one thing I missed to cover. Okay, so we will be working with the local server creation. Okay, we will be creating our own JSON server. Okay, so JSON server we will be creating, and by creating the JSON server we will be creating our own fake APIs here. Okay, we will be creating our own APIs by creating our own local server. This whatever the APIs we are creating, that we will be launching in our local server. Okay, first we'll be creating the local server, then we are creating some dummy APIs and we will be launching that APIs here, and we'll be making use of those APIs in our validations. Okay, so that is that we are covering. Okay,
One doubt, ma'am. So which are the tools we required, like here?
For this, yeah, so for the manual testing we are using a Postman.
Right.
Okay,
Mission
okay,
free.
so for the manual testing we are using the Postman. For the automation we are using what is this? Yeah. Okay, for the automation we are using Eclipse. Okay, and Jenkins. Okay, so Eclipse we are using to write the script and all. Okay, and later while working with the framework and all, we are using a Jenkins. Okay.
Yeah, thanks, ma'am.
Yeah. Okay, so now we will understand something about the API. Okay, so yeah, so this is one application and this is one application. Okay, so take an example. This is maybe this is Amazon. This is Amazon application, and this is maybe phone pay application. Okay, so what is happening? Yeah, user is going to the Amazon application and he is searching some product, and he selected some product, and he added that product to the cart, and now he wants to buy that product. So what he is doing here, there is an option that pay now option is there. Okay, pay now option is there. So when he is clicking on this pay now option, he will be getting the list of options from this button. What is that list of option? So one is pay with phone pay. Okay, pay with phone pay, and next one is pay with Google Pay, and next one is pay with UPI or Paytm. Okay, just an example I'm taking. Okay, it may be some other application also. Okay, so like this option you are getting. Okay, now I'm selecting phone pay application. So the phone pay option I'm selecting. Okay, so when I'm selecting the phone pay, so what is happening? The request has to go to the phone pay application. The request has to go to the phone pay application. Okay, so now what you have to understand, my Amazon application has built in Java language. Okay, and my phone pay application has built in some Python language. Okay, okay, from my Java application I'm sending some request. Okay, and that is received from my Python application, but it is not understanding anything. directly if you are sending the request. Okay, because the language is different. For example, I'm now speaking in English. Okay, so suppose you know Hindi and I'm speaking in some Telugu or some Kannada language. Okay, how we will understand that? We will not understand that, right? Because the language is different. The same way here also happens. If you are directly, if we communicate with this application, direct communication won't happen at all because the language is different. Okay, so since the language is different, obviously they will not understand whatever this application is telling and whatever this application is receiving. Okay, whenever this application is sending this, okay, this application is completely, star in his mind, what he is telling, what he is asking, and something it is responding, whatever the response this application is giving, this application is unable to understand what it is responding because the language is different. So we need someone to communicate with each other. Okay, so that is nothing but API. Okay, I'm just giving idea about the API. Okay, so this is what API come into picture. Okay, because someone should need to make communication smooth. Okay, someone should need. API is acting as an intermediate between this application and this application. Okay, so it is allowing the two application to communicate with each other to perform the business actions. Okay, so this is how we are using the APIs. Okay, nowadays you can take any application, guys, any of the application you take, everything based on API only. With the API you are able to book your Ola. With the API you are able to book your flights, correct? Okay, how Ola works, how for example, okay, in the okay, when you're opening the Uber or Ola application, what happens there? Okay, whenever you are opening that, you will be clicking on the Google location, so you will be giving, it's giving all your location details. Okay, how it is giving? Because that Ola application internally making use of Google API to get the details of the location. Okay, so whatever the application you take, everything depends on API only. Okay, that's why learning and knowledge of API is booming nowadays. Okay, you can open the Naukri. No, 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 no. That's a good question. No, 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 no. From the both of the language. Okay, okay. Okay, so we are not converting Java to Python here. We are using some other language in the middle. So that should be understandable from the both language. Okay, that we will be discussing. Okay, so now whatever the application you take, everything on depends on API only. That's why having a knowledge on API is very important. Nowadays, each and every company, every organization expect the knowledge of API from the candidate. You can open the Naukri.com or any other job site. Okay, so obviously when you're opening the description of the job, they will be giving you at any cost, means they will be giving you, the candidate should be knowledge on API testing, or the candidate should be knowledge on this Azure. Candidate should be knowledge on all this thing, means API testing, REST Azure, like this keyword they will be mentioning. Okay, which means that this is having that much of scope in the market now. Okay, so now, and obviously, right, if you just knowing the Selenium means front end is not enough nowadays. Okay, they expect you about the back end also. Okay, so the front end, the back end means, which means that front end also back end also means obviously you can demand, and they will also give you good opportunity. Okay, with a good hike. Okay, this is having that much of advantage, and this is having that much of scope in the market now. Okay, so now next. Okay, so the end. Okay, this is one example, and you might have come across the situation that whenever you're performing some login activity with the application. Okay, so there you will be having an option login with the Google, login with the Facebook, login with the Twitter. Like that, you will be having an option. Have you come across that? Whenever you're performing some login action, okay, with any of the application, okay, you will be having an option saying login with the Facebook, login with the Google, or login with the Twitter. Like that, you will be having a option. Okay, means you're performing the authentication by taking the help of the Google APIs or Facebook APIs. Getting right this example? Have you come across that example? For example, this is the login. Yes, correct. Yeah. Okay. Okay. You have to understand that real-time scenario, how it is working now. Okay. So which is working in such a way that, for example, this is one application. Okay. So this is a XY application. Just example I'm taking. So this is one application. This application name is XYZ. Okay. So in this application, I have to perform some login. Okay. Login activity, username, email ID, password, all these things I had to perform. Then I had to click on the login. Okay. So along with the login, you will be having an option here like hard. Okay. And they will be giving you different option here. Login with the Google. Login with the Facebook. Or etc. Okay. So you have to understand here what they are achieving. So to authenticate the user for this application, they are making use of Google APIs. Means they are consuming the Google APIs to authenticate their user. Anyway, while logging in the Google, we have authenticated ourselves. So we are a authenticated user only if we are using the Google. Okay. So here they are consuming the Google APIs to authenticate their user in its application. Okay, and to run its business, they are making use of a Google API. They are making use of a Facebook API. Simply, they are calling that APIs and authenticating the user for their application. Okay, so this is another example. Okay, so this is where you are using the APIs also. And one more example. I'm just giving you a complete idea about the APIs. Okay, and one more example. Okay. So, say suppose you want to travel from Hyderabad to Bangalore to the flights. Okay. So we will be having so many airline services. Okay. What are the airline services we'll be having? Just example I'm taking. Okay. We will be having Vistara. I'm checking this. Let me take another thing only. Okay. Okay. So we'll be having a Vistara, or we'll be having a Indigo. We'll be having a Go Ahead. Okay. Like list of airlines we will be having. Okay. We have a list of airline companies. Okay. So what happens? But whenever we want to book some flights, we will not go directly to the airline companies and we will not book the ticket. For example, if I want to book the ticket means I will not directly go to the Vistara website and will not book the ticket. Instead of that, what I will do instead of that, whenever you want to book some ticket through the bus or through a flight or through a train, what you will do, guys? What you will usually do? Mm-hmm. What you will do whenever you
We will go to the site, any site, and we will book the ticket.
Okay, yes, correct. Okay, so we will go any other site and we'll book the ticket. For example, take a what is that? Make my trip, right? Make my trip. Okay, so make my trip. or yes. Okay, so clear trip. Okay, I'm sorry. Okay, so these are all like online travel agencies. Online travel agencies. Okay, so these are all the online travel agencies. Okay, so what happens when we have to book the ticket? We will not directly go to this airline services, and we will not never we will do that actually. So this make my trip and clear trip will be giving the good offer for us. So directly we will go here and we will book the ticket. Okay, so whenever we are going to the make my trip, and whenever I am giving departure date. Okay, let me show you that. Make my trip. Okay, okay, so I'm going to this online travel agency. So what I'm doing, okay, I'm selecting the flight and I'm giving this information from to. Okay, from which city I'm traveling. Okay, let me give a Hyderabad only. Hyderabad to Bangalore. To Bangalore I'm traveling. Okay, and when I'm traveling tomorrow. Okay, so where is that? I'm traveling tomorrow. Okay, I'm searching. What are the flights I have? Okay, okay, got it. Okay, okay, see here. What are all the flights available? It is showing. Okay, what are all the flights available? Alliance Air and Indigo and this Indigo, Air Asia. Okay, so it is providing me list of flights detail. Okay, so this Alliance Air and this Indigo and this Air Asia. Okay, so these are all the airline companies. Okay, these are all the airline companies actually. Okay, so here Alliance Air. Okay, Indigo. Go Asia, right? Go Asia. So these are the airline companies. Okay. So what is happening in my make my trip? So I am getting the flight details of this Alliance Air and Indigo and Go Asia. So these flights detail this. Okay, this airline companies, these flights detail I am getting in my make my trip. Okay, this Indigo flights detail, this Go Asia flights detail, when it is available, at what time it will depart, and what time it will arrival. So all this detail I am getting in the Make My Trip application. This is one website and this is one website. In this website, I am able to see this all these flights detail. Okay. So what is happening? What is happening here? How it is possible? This application details to available in this application. Okay, I will give you three, I will give you some approach. You have to tell, okay, what is happening here. Okay, maybe this Alliance Air, Indigo, and Go Asia. Okay, this website. Okay, this company. Okay, what they are doing is they are giving this database, this Indigo company and Alliance Air and Go Asia, they are providing this Indigo Go Asia database access to this Make My Trip. Okay, so first approach, you have to tell me. Okay, the session should be interactive. Okay, so these people are providing airlines company is providing their database access to travel agencies to make my trip. Just take an example of make my trip only. This is one approach. Okay, to the make my trip. Okay, since they are providing the database access to this make my trip, this make my trip company is able to see all the details, all the flight availability of this company in this website. Okay, that is one approach. Then second approach. Okay, second approach. maybe they are creating one resource. Okay, for example, like this here in the middle of this airline companies and here there is one resource. Okay, what they are doing is this Air Asia, Indigo, Go Asia, Indigo, Go Asia, all these, all these websites, what they are doing is, etc., etc. Some other airline websites also, okay? They are keeping all their flights information in this resource, okay? They are keeping all this flights information in this resource every 10 minutes once. Okay, they're keeping all these flights. What are the flights available in their website? All those information they are updating every 10 minutes once. Okay, remember the timing every 10 minutes once. Okay, this is a resource, external resource. Okay, so this make my trip. Whenever it is updating every 10 minutes once, it is grabbing the data from this resource to this website. This is one approach. Okay, so now tell me which approach they are following, how it is available, this company's, this website details in this website, whether they are going first approach to achieve this, or they are going second approach by creating the resource, and these companies will be updating their flight details in this resource every 10 minutes, and once after updating every 10 minutes it is taking the data every 10 minutes once. Okay, so this is the second approach. Which approach they are following, so that this detail is available in the make my trip. Whether they are following first approach or second approach or both approach is wrong. Hmm. Can make use of a chat. If you're not able to mute yourself, unmute yourself and talk, means make use of a chat. Which you go for? Which is correct according to you guys? Because of database first approach. Okay, according to Sachin, first approach means he is telling that make my trip have access to airline, Indigo, Go Asia, whatever the airline service is there. Those means those website database access these people will be having, and they are retrieving the all the information about this. What I'm basically telling is, see, this is a make my trip. In this make my trip, the Alliance Air flight. This is one airline website. This is one airline website. This is one airline website. So these website flight detail which is appearing in the make my trip. How it is happening? Okay. So Sachin is telling that this make my trip is having a database access to this website, so that they are able to see all these flights detail in the make my trip. And one more Ashutosh is telling that he is going with a resource approach. Okay. Okay. I'm giving one more minute. Okay. So whether the first approach is correct, second approach is correct, or both approaches wrong. If it is wrong, also no issues, guys. But you interact, all of you. Just make use of a chat. First, second, or third. Just make use of a number. First one, second one, or third one. Quick. I'm waiting for your answers. Third approach, according to Sunil. Okay. Means both approaches wrong. Okay. According to Sunil, okay, as no give the database access to that. Okay. Okay, great. Okay. Others. What others are doing? I don't want anyone to sleep in the session. If you're not responding, means I will consider that as you're sleeping. Okay. Sudhakar is telling two. Okay. Sudhakar is telling two. Sunil has replied. And what about others? Srinivas, Ramesh, Ashutosh, okay, Amit, Ashutosh has replied. Sunil, okay, 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 fine, thank you. Okay, okay. Sunil, resources are not enough to fetch the exact detail. Yes, exactly. Okay, okay. I will tell you what is happening here. Okay, so here, of course, okay, correct, Sunil. Whatever you're telling is exactly correct. Obviously, nobody will give their database access to any others. Okay, see, nobody will, believe on anyone within the organization also. Even, if someone is working for the same organization, only accessed person can access the database detail. Not everyone has, have access to database. Okay, database is nothing but the entire detail. For example, just understand. Okay, you have a bank account. Okay, you have a bank account. Okay, how it will be if everyone have access to access your bank account. That is not an acceptable thing, right? Your details you should be knowing only. It's not possible to make it public, correct? The same way, database thing means it is very very confidential. You will be having each and everything in that. It's not possible, some other company or some other website to directly have access to the database itself. It's highly impossible. Okay, so it's not because database is very confidential. Each and everything will be stored in the database only. How it's possible some other company to make use of their database? They can do anything, right? Okay, if they're taken in, okay, about the flight information is fine, but if they taken some other information, it will be lost for this company only, right? Because their data, everything, if this company knows means obviously they can do anything with that data, correct? No, no, this approach is not at all, you know, acceptable. Means this approach is no one will follow this approach. No one will give database access to someone. Okay, it's something like your account details you will not give to any others people, right? It is so confidential, correct? So same way. Okay, then this resource approach. Okay, so suppose now it is a 11.8. Okay, it's 11.8, and in make my trip it is showing that we have some flight by we have some flight by 11:20. Okay, we have some flight by 11:20. Okay, so I seen that in the make my trip and I booked this ticket, booked the ticket for this, and I'm waiting for this. Okay, okay. So what is happening here? From the resource, this make my trip has to get the information. Okay, so what is happening here is in the headline every 10 minutes once here the updation is happening. Every 10 minutes once the updation is happening. Okay, so before this flight was, this flight was there. Okay, now it is already updated. After 10 minutes only new data will update in the resource. So what is happened is in the Indigo, just I'm taking Indigo exam. In the Indigo, the particular 11:20 flight got cancelled. Because of some reason, the 11:20 flight got cancelled. Okay, but in make my trip it is still showing as it is available, but in the Indigo website it is cancelled. The flight only it is not available for today. In Indigo it is cancelled. Okay, this is the main website, but in make my trip it is still showing its availability, and everyone booking that ticket for that particular flight. Okay, okay. So now what happens? Everyone already booked the ticket for that flight, and nobody not aware of the detail about this flight. Yes, it's still showing it's available only, and it is arriving at 11:20. Okay. So what happens here? Okay. So why it is not updated here? Because in the resource, every 10 minutes on updation is happening. Okay. It's still the updation is not happened here. It's still showing since the make my trip taking the this details from this resource, here it is not updated because it is cancelled by, okay, now it is updated. Okay, so after updating it is going back to the Indigo. So now just seconds ago, maybe 5 seconds ago, the friend got cancelled, but it's take 10 minutes to update in the resource. Okay, 5 seconds ago the flight got cancelled, but now it's take after 10 minutes only it will update. Maybe after 10 minutes this data will be available in the make my trip because it is updated in the resource. But there is a misconception, correct? Because it is available here, all the users is able to book the ticket, and now it is not updated here, but the flight will only not possible, flight will only not arrival here because the flight got cancelled in the main Indigo website. Since the updation is happening every 10 minutes once, if the flight is got cancelled 5 seconds ago, it is not updated here because it has to wait another 10 minutes to update in the resource. So that's why in the make my trip also it is not updated. But for the user of the make my trip, they are able to book the ticket. So now this user who are all booking, okay, now they will not come directly to the Indigo. Okay, they will not go to the Indigo company and they will not ask this. Obviously, they will come up with the make my trip only. What is this happening? It's showing that it is arriving. So we have booked it. Now you are telling that it's cancelled. Okay, they will be having so much of plans means then it is okay gone case. Okay, they will be raising complaint against the make my trip. All those things will happen. So this is not a feasible thing. Okay, this is not at all approachable with the real time. In the real time, this will not work. If the flight got cancelled in seconds ago, so but updation is happening after 10 minutes once, so it's very, it's very, a tough situation we have to face if we go with this approach. It is not work with a real time approach. Okay, we are not going with that. That's fine. This approach is wrong. Okay, that's why we are making use of API in between the Indigo and the make my trip. Okay, so we are simply making use of our API to achieve this. Okay, here is what is happening here. So this make my trip is consuming Alliance Air API, Indigo API, Air Asia API to grab the details about the flight, to get the details about the flight, to consume they are consuming these APIs to retrieve the details about those flights in its web application. So it is making use of these APIs for its business. Make my trip is making use of this company's APIs to run its business in its application. Okay, so this is how we are making use of API everywhere. Okay, got an idea? Got an idea?
Yes, ma'am. Pretty clear. Yeah.
Yeah. Any doubt? Got an idea or any confusions? Or it was boring?
No, if it was fine. It is fine.
Yeah. Okay. So this is how we are making use of API everywhere. Now we have understood just means in what are the situation we are using the APIs. Okay. But being a test engineer, what we are doing with this, that has to understand, right? So this is nothing but backend testing, guys. Okay. Backend testing is nothing but business logic testing. Okay. We have a Selenium to test front end. Okay. We have a Selenium is there for the UI. Okay, so with the UI, with the Selenium, it's not possible us to test the backend. Okay, so this is business logic and this is the database. Okay, what is the prerequisite to learn this course? Nothing you need. Okay, everything I will only help. Okay, so okay, if you have a knowledge of Java, means that is well and good. If you don't have also, I will help with that. Okay, this is from freshers to advanced. Anyone can take up. Okay, prerequisite, yes, for the automation we need some Java language. If you are having it prior, well and good. If you don't have it, I will take care of that. Okay, before starting with automation, um, I will give a idea on Java concept which is required to work with automation. Okay, so yeah, this is front end, means UI. Okay, This is a business logic. Business logic, which is developed by the developer, okay? And this is database. Okay, so we have Selenium to automate this. So here we have a business logic is nothing but API testing, okay? So that we will be achieving by using REST assured models, okay? So this is what API testing. Business testing, the backend testing is nothing but a API testing. API testing is nothing but completely about the backend testing, business logic testing. So for this database, some other database testing like ETL, some other thing is there, okay? Database testing. So we are learning about this part now, okay? So obviously, guys, you have this knowledge and this knowledge. Obviously, okay, you can demand a hike like anything. You have a knowledge of backend means this is something like full stack. In development and all we call, right? Yes, okay. In testing perspective, we call it as a SDate engineer. SDate engineer. Okay. So SDate is nothing but performing each and everything from front end to back end. Okay. So okay, we will be giving a, so if you are having a Selenium exposure, then it is a, it will be very good if you have a knowledge on API testing also. You can demand your salary or a hike, or else if you are jumping into this domain, okay, then that is also fine. Or if you are a fresher, this is more added advantage for you guys. Okay, they will grab you initial in one interview only. Okay, so this is what all about. Have any doubt with respect to the course or anything? If you have any doubt, means you can ask me here.
Okay, to be frank, so this course is for 30 days, like, so it is totally free or like paid, like.
No, no. This workshop is free. So the course having some fee. Okay, the course fee is 4,000. Okay.
Okay, yeah.
You wanted to provide in free?
No, I'm not saying that, but just wanted to ask.
Yeah.
Like, I'm thinking that it will be very good to join me, like there, because the session will be interactive and the learning will be fine for us.
Okay. Yeah, thank you. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, Rohit, you raised your hand.
Yeah, ma'am, I'm audible.
Yes, you're audible.
Yeah, ma'am, I just have a question regarding that course. Actually, I'm thinking to my wife is from a different background, but I'm thinking to like put her into this like testing field. So this course is worth, and how's the career ahead, like challenges
Yes,
or how it is like.
No, yes, it will work. It will, it is added advantage for you, for us. Okay. So she learned front end?
No, ma'am,
Means
she is
front
from
end.
different background. She is like from
Okay.
MBA. She's.
Okay, she's jumping now into the IT, right?
Yeah, I'm thinking to know to put her into IT so that she can have a good career and that will be.
Okay.
That.
Yes, yes, Rohit, you can go with this. Okay, you can enroll her for this course. Along with this, having a knowledge on the Selenium is also good. Okay, if she learned both the things, then it will be added advantage for her.
Yeah, thank you, ma'am. And some Selenium and this course along with the Java also required, ma'am. Java somewhat.
Yeah, like Java, what is the concept is required for this course? I will be taking care here. Okay. For the Selenium, maybe you have to contact with the respective, what respective who is taking this course. I don't know about that idea. So you have to contact the management. They will give you idea about it. And may I know what years of experience you're planning?
I'm fresher as a fresher only, ma'am. She don't have any experience.
Oh, okay. No. Priya, she was working somewhere.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. How much of
She's into
experience?
experience is at more than 6 to 8 years, but it is not relevant to the IT actually.
Okay, I got it totally. Okay. So no issues, Rohit. This is actually added advantage for her. Okay, if she learned this and this both of them, it would be very easier to jump into the means IT sector now. Okay, so tell her to go through the manual and as well as Selenium and API testing. This is more than enough for to crack our interview. Means get into the IT.
Okay, ma'am. When you said like Selenium, it means like automation, right? Automation knowledge.
Yes, automation.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Wish you a good day, ma'am.
Yeah,
Thank you.
yeah. Thank you. Yes, Amit.
Yeah, hi ma'am. I have 3 years of experience in manual and automation. So from
Mm-hmm.
last 1 year, I am working on Java and Selenium. So
Okay.
it is useful for me.
It is very useful for you then. Okay.
Yeah, I am
You can
having knowledge
actually
of
learn.
Java and Selenium and also practical experience also.
Yeah. Then it is very useful. Okay. Then you will get a good exposure, Amit. You simply go for this course, okay? Because you have a Selenium and Java experience already, and knowing about the backend testing will be added advantage for you. Like if you want to switch the company or if you want to demand some hike, then it will be very good for you. You can tell that yes, I know the backend testing knowledge also. I want this much of, I'm expecting this much of hike. Like that also you can demand a hike, or else if you want to switch the company also, it will be very helpful for you. Okay,
Yeah,
and it
sure,
will
ma'am. Thank you.
be, yeah. Okay, yeah, we get yes, yeah. You will be getting a recorded session of everyday session. Okay. So okay, everyday session will be recorded, and they will be sharing with you all the recorded session. Along with that, I will be in the class itself. I will be telling you all the interview questions. Okay, I mean to say, whenever it is required for the interview, whenever it is important, I will be searching out that concept. We have to put some effort on those concepts. Okay, it's very easy, guys. Okay, if you give some effort and if you follow with me, it's very easy. Believe me, just follow with me. Okay, be very easy.
Hi Harsali, this is Vinita here. I
Yeah,
have
fine.
8 years of experience into manual testing with basically e-commerce domain,
Okay,
legal domain, investment domain, and currently I'm working with Viensa, but they don't have, I think, project for testing now. So they have moved me in PIP. And
okay,
after around 5.5 year break, I joined Gensar. So I
mm-hmm.
want to sit in some good company, work from home specific.
Okay,
So
uh-huh.
will this course help me? I know Selenium also and Java also, but
Mm-hmm.
on hand experience I don't have. Database
Okay,
SQL I know little bit, not
mm-hmm.
too much. Advanced
Okay.
I don't know. Advanced SQL I don't
So
know.
yeah,
Basic
what
SQL
I
I know.
suggest you, Vinita, is yes, you go with this course, okay? Because in this case, you go with this course, and along with that, have some exposure on the project also. In who I'm covering a project, okay? So how in the inside the organization, how the project will be having. And my suggestion is to don't waste your time. If they are in that case, means you try to jump the company, you try to switch the company, okay. Simply don't waste your time by simply working with some other domain where you have to waste your precious time, right? There's so many other companies are there. Yes, you will be having that opportunity. Nowadays so many companies are providing a work from home opportunity, okay. But prior to that, you have a good knowledge on all these things, good exposure, so that you can demand by the time, right? Yes, I have all these things. Yes, I will work for all those things, but I have some demand that I need a work from home, some permanent basis, like that you can demand. So before that, you have to be, your interview should be that strong. Okay, something you are demanding with the company means you have to be like, you have to be very strong with the conceptual, and you have to showcase that yes, I have all this language, I can handle all the work whatever you're providing with respect to your company, but I need one, this thing I need, like work from home option I need, like that you can demand by the time. So whoever, guys, basically, whoever having the experience, so all of you the same thing only. You must have a API testing knowledge. That is backend testing. This is very demanding, especially for the experienced candidate. Every organization expect this. because just generally you think forget about this course, all those things you forget about this. Okay, the joining the course and all these are all later. Just generally seeing, see, one organization how they will think is one candidate is there who knows only Selenium, means front end testing he knows, front end plus manual he knows. Okay, and some other candidate is there who knows Selenium plus API testing plus manual. Okay, obviously they will go with this person only. Why? He knows, okay, manual approach, okay, and the automation Selenium front end testing he knows, but he don't know the back end testing. So they have to hire one more person here to handle the back end testing. Okay, one more resource they have to, they have to hire. But if they come with this person, he is having bunch of knowledge. He knows manual, he knows functionality testing, he knows automation, also he knows backend also. Here, this one resource is enough, but here again they have to add one more resource. Obviously, they will, they will take this person only because they don't want to, put some more invest on these resources anymore. Instead of keeping, two resources for one work, they will, take this resource and ultimately indirectly they are saving their money also, right? So obviously they will go with this resource only. So this is okay. So overall, experienced candidate. So it will be must, like, you should be have a knowledge on API. Every organization demands nowadays about the knowledge of API. Okay. So Vinita, my suggestion, you go for this course and along with you with some knowledge of project, and my suggestion as much as possible, as soon as possible, you switch the company. Don't stick on there and simply don't work on some different domain.
Okay.
Okay. And yes, if you switch also you'll be getting some good hike also, right? Simply why to sit and work with some other domain and nothing will work out actually. Yes, Sunil, you're raising your hand.
Okay, ma'am. Yeah. So actually, I have experience on API testing. Now I'm doing the automation testing by using the BDD Cucumber, not with the
Okay.
REST as well. Like I'm doing the backend testing.
Okay.
So is it feasible to switch here? Like already having an experience on BDD, so it is right to switch on REST because I know it is better to work on it.
Mm-hmm.
Uh,
You're working with a BDD approach, right?
yeah. So like
Okay.
in our project, we have totally the BDD approach, not a REST as well.
Mm-hmm.
So my main motive is like I want to do a Java development. Like so I'm working on
Okay.
that only. So like, is it fine to come here and do learning for this one, or else is it fine to skip this one? Like, because
Yeah.
my first preference is Java development.
Means you want to switch into development side, right?
Yeah, I'm getting that opportunity in my current project as well. But I need to have
Uh-huh.
some hands-on experience, like, so that I can
Mm-hmm.
explore myself.
Okay. So this is like, this is, yeah, what I previously I mentioned, no, this is a testing with respect to Java. Okay. So we are not, developing a API here for your better, clarity. We're not developing the API, but yes, you will get a knowledge on, we can perform the unit testing with respect to whenever we are developing the, any of the APIs and all. Okay. You will be getting that exposure. Okay. But in this case, it's to you, Sunil, actually. You have to decide, okay? Like this is a different case than others, right? So you're already working, but you have to think now whether this course will, work for you. You want to learn, or that this thing you have to decide it now because you're already working now. So like I don't have any other option to tell you. Like, and also you're in different. You have to jump into development. You're telling, right? But
Yeah.
clearly telling, we are doing any development here. Okay, but we are performing the automation of a REST APIs here. Okay, so you have to think it now. If you want to learn these, or it will be useful for you in further in future whenever you're jumping into development.
So
If
like
you feel like that, no.
I'm in a situation like cross functionality situation. Like I used to have a development story as well as a testing story. So both I am doing it. Like so I'm
Mm-hmm.
a bit confused. like, but my main focus is to move into the development, so that I'm trying to skip the testing part.
Okay. So yes, yeah, that yes, you have to think about this actually now. Okay.
Sure, ma'am.
So if you're feeling that you need this language means idea also means, so then you have to plan for it. Okay. So
Okay.
means because I can't means I don't know like how the things will work for you, right? Because since
Yeah,
you're
sure.
already working, so you think this if it is useful, if you're feeling that you need to learn this also, because you're clearly telling that you want to jump into development, right? So even though if you're jumping into development, if it is useful for you, then you plan for it.
Okay,
Okay,
yeah, sure. Yeah,
it's up
thanks.
to you. Yeah. Okay, guys, anything else? Anything else? So demo will be starting from tomorrow. Okay. So demo will be starting from tomorrow at 6 a.m. The link will be shared. Okay. So please
Hello,
attend the
ma'am.
demo. Don't. Yeah.
Ma'am, 2+ year for putting experience. How much technology I have to learn?
2+ years of experience, right?
Yeah, ma'am.
That there is no restriction in learning the technology, Sachin. Okay. How much technology you will keep, that much soon you will get hired. That's all. Okay. So there's no restriction. They will feel proud of you. Whenever they're taking for you interview, if you're having a knowledge on each and every technology means, within the 2 years only he has this much of exposure. We need a resource like this. Like this, they will think and they will hire you. Okay. So that that is there is no restriction in learning the technologies. But my suggestion, guys, it will be very good to have a exposure on the front end and back end both in right now situation. Like this is how
Okay.
now it is working in all the organization.
Ma'am,
They won't satisfy.
can I learn a Selenium or API testing parallel?
Yeah, you can do that. That will be good also. Don't
Okay,
take,
ma'am.
instead of wasting learning days after coming here and learning this, learning at a time, it will be good. Time consuming also, right? You can start interview also as soon as possible.
And ma'am, in database testing, which chapter is knowledge is most important for us?
Database,
Data.
I'm not
Yeah.
taking cases. Something ETL testing they will perform. Actually, even I don't have I never worked on database testing also, actually. Okay. So maybe some
Okay.
other faculty will be taking that. Um, Go through, like, once you, ask the management about regarding this,
No,
they
no,
will be
ma'am.
helping you with
I
it.
ask. My doubt is, it is
Mm-hmm.
mandatory to have database knowledge,
No,
or
not required. Yeah. No, database is not required. Okay.
not required
Yeah. If you need means you can learn.
for
If you need
interview
database.
purpose, ma'am? For interview
No,
purpose.
for interview perspective, knowledge of SQL is must. They may ask you SQL. Means
Is
what are the
okay.
commands we use inside the database, no? So this is
Okay. Okay.
must. Database testing is must. Knowledge is must. Okay.
SQL knowledge is must, ma'am.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay.
Ah, yes, ma'am. Thank you.
Okay. Okay. Anything else before ending the session?
Ma'am, one question. Apart from manual, what all we should learn for testing especially? As I have 8 years experience.
Okay. As a
8 years experience.
8 years of experience, right? Okay. For your case, I suggest you, Vinita, okay, manual is leave. Okay, that is just a functionality. Okay. But I suggest you to go through the Selenium and API both.
So you
Okay.
all take Selenium course. You all take.
Right now, I'm not taking a Selenium course. So maybe some other faculty is taking. Ravi Shankar, someone is replied now. Yeah. Who is taking, guys? Selenium?
Ravi sir,
Maybe some
ma'am.
other faculty. Yes, Ravi sir is taking the Selenium.
Yeah.
Okay. So I suggest you, Vinita, go through the Selenium and API testing both and having some manual and having basic of SQL. This is more than enough you can get into any of the organization. Okay.
Okay.
I think this
So
is
now
more than
when we start for API testing course, so within 15 days we can update the CV that we have 2 years of experience in API testing, and we can
yes.
start searching the job.
Sure, sure. Yeah. What you have to do, you know you will be having a manual, right? Manual
Yes,
knowledge you have, right? So
yes, yes.
I will be in the first week, first week I will be completing a API testing of a manual approach. Okay.
Okay, okay.
Okay. So what you have to do in the CV, manual testing plus API testing using Postman. That is a manual API testing. Okay. API
Yes,
using
yes.
Postman plus SQL. Update this much and start searching on it. Okay. Once after completing the automation approach, then you update that, then you search on it. If you get within this only, then it's well and good. You can jump, then later you have a knowledge of this automation, and later you will be getting some more time to get exposure on it. Okay. But if you get within this, that is well and good. Okay. In this course, you have a two option. If you want to jump into the manual API testing also, you can jump. Or if you want to jump into the automation also, you can jump. Both things will be covering. Okay.
Okay, okay. Okay, thank you, Harshil.
Yeah. Okay. Anything else? We'll end up the session.
Yes, ma'am. Can I ask you?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, ma'am, I have knowledge manual recently learned. So is this course beneficial for me?
Yes, it
Currently,
is
I'm not working.
beneficial.
Currently, I'm not working. But recently, I learned manual signature. Uh,
Okay. You have a
and
plan to learn Selenium and jump into the company, right?
yes, yes. Actually, I also learned manual in recently, and my course is completed. So I am a in CV and looking for a job. So can I start this course for in next planning?
Yes, yes, Sudhakar. You can plan. That's what I don't know. From the fresher to advanced level, each and everything covered. It is, yeah, you can plan for it. This course is for everyone. Okay. And I'm telling the having a backend testing is very advantage, guys, for your interview also. Okay. If they, see, if they, observe that, you are keeping some points on the API testing, means this guy is having a knowledge on backend also. Okay, let me take a look on this guy. Okay, and like that they will think and they will put some effort. They will give you some time to ask all those things, and they will check each and everything whether you have a both a front end and back end knowledge, and they will they will take you only if the person is having only the this language, and if the person is having the knowledge on both front end and back end, means obviously they will take you only. Okay.
Right. Right.
Yeah. So just what you had to do, after this session, just go to the Naukri and just go through the requirement of the recruiters. Just go to the description. Okay. I will bet you each and everyone will be giving in the job description about the API testing. Knowledge of API testing is required, and knowledge of REST APIs is required. The candidate must be having a knowledge on API testing or knowledge on REST APIs. Like that, they will be given. Okay. So, which means that nowadays the API testing is having that much of advantage. See, each and every application is depends on the API, means obviously the demand of the API development as well as API testing is on high in the market. Okay, so whether it is a fresher or you are experienced, or if you want to jump into the any of the organization, for each and everyone, this is very important learning about the APIs.
Okay, but I have not knowledge in Selenium.
Okay. Okay, you are not having knowledge on Selenium, right? So you have a knowledge on manual, right? Manual testing.
Yes, 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 manual knowledge.
Okay, it will be, yeah. This is also like it will be very good if you have a knowledge. So you're going as an experienced candidate, Sudhakar.
I am going to experience.
Okay. So it will be good, Sudhakar, if you have a knowledge on Selenium too, along with this. Okay, it's okay. You can keep a manual testing API approach, backend testing, but it will be good if you have a knowledge of Selenium also. It will be added advantage for you, for your resume. Okay. So
Okay.
plan for the both Selenium and API testing both.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. I got it.
Then guys, anything else?
Okay, ma'am. Thank you.
Yeah. Okay. So then we'll end up the session. If anything else, if you need means, just contact the management. If you want to, what is this? 2+ years of experience. How much knowledge is required? Okay, it's already we have spoken, right? Okay. Okay, ma'am. Session. Okay. What was that? Thank you for your support and guidance here. Thank you so much for that. Session was pretty interactive. Yeah, thank you. Thank you for that. Okay. So tomorrow onwards, so we'll be starting the demo. Okay, if you are joining this, plan accordingly. Okay, don't miss the demo. And one more thing. Yes, yeah. If you have any doubts, if you want to speak with me to get a more clarity on it, just connect with the management. Just call to the management, and they will keep a conference with me. Okay. If you want any clarity on something. Okay. Okay, guys. Then we'll chalo. Okay. Tomorrow we'll connect again. Okay. Have a great day. Bye bye. Thanks for joining. Happy weekend.
Thank you, ma'am. Same to you.
Yeah.